and welcome back to Joyfully Cooking. Today we'll be making Sloppy Joe sandwiches. Let's get started. First you want to chop up some onions and some peppers, and then you want to add a little bit of water in a frying pan, and then go ahead and add in about a cup of your peppers and your onions. So after it starts steaming, you can go ahead and just stir around the peppers and the onions and go ahead and add in our seasoning. We're going to have about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder sprinkled in there, and then about a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm not measuring exactly, you can do more or less. And then about a fourth a teaspoon of some chili powder, just a little bit. And stir that around together and cover it. Okay, so now we're going to uncover it, stir this around. You want the onions and the peppers to soften, so when we add the ground beef in, it will be a nice smooth texture. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add in our veggie ground beef. We're using Yai's, but you can use any veggie ground beef that you like. Okay, and we're using a whole pack of this ground beef. Go ahead and pour that whole pack in. Okay, and you can just chop it. Just like that. Okay, so now it's time to add in our liquid ingredients. I did add a little bit more water in there because of the ground beef was starting to stick. So you can go ahead and add in more water if you need to. So now we're going to add our liquid smoke. This is a new ingredient that I'm starting to use. It's like a hickory barbecue type ingredient, type liquid. So I think this is going to go really good. So I'm just going to I'm going to pour a little bit in there. Stir that around. Smells really good. Like a good hickory barbecue type of smell. And then we're going to add in some spaghetti sauce. And stir that around in there too. And I like to put a lot of spaghetti sauce in my Sloppy Joe, so it can become kind of liquidy, and so that the ground beef soaks into the spaghetti sauce. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add in some more spaghetti sauce. Okay, so I went ahead and added a little bit more of that liquid smoke because it was making this really good. Smell really good as well, and it became a nice brown red type color. So I think that was really good. So now I just turned it on low, so it doesn't stick or anything. And I'm just cover that. And now stay tuned for health tips for today. So now we're going to talk about our health tips for today. Today's recipe is Sloppy Joe sandwiches, and how we made the Sloppy Joe, we used tomato sauce. So we're going to be talking about tomatoes and the good benefits we get when we warm up tomatoes or when we cook tomatoes. Now, tomatoes are well known for its high antioxidants and also for lycopene. We get lycopene from its red color in the tomatoes. And basically what lycopene is an antioxidant that are in tomatoes, and it helps lower the risk of having heart disease. So when we cook the tomatoes, we get a bigger boost of lycopene, and we get more antioxidants as well. So when we cook the tomatoes, what are we doing? We're lowering the risk of having heart disease or even cancer, because tomatoes help with lowering cancer as well. And then when you do cook the tomatoes, you do lose a little bit of vitamin C, but it's worth it because we get way more antioxidants, and that helps with our body. So that is just a few of the health benefits that tomatoes give us. So now we're going to go back to the show. So here we have our delicious Sloppy Joe sandwich. We paired it with some homemade fries and our broccoli. Make sure you have some vegetables in there. And then we have our whole wheat buns that we put on the Sloppy Joe on. And this looks so delicious. I'm really ready to eat this. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe and stay tuned for more joyfully cooking.